Don't make my mistake. Today, we're going to talk about this all too common mistake that people make in their worlds every day, and I'm definitely guilty of doing this in our current world. So stay tuned to find out what it is, how to avoid it, and then we'll practice fixing this together. In our last video, we talked about combining functionality and beauty to make your build stand out, and you can watch that after this video here. But on the flip side of that, there are things that we need to avoid doing when planning out our builds. So what is this mistake I keep talking about? Well, building without a plan. And I don't just mean a plan for one specific build, I'm talking about planning out your different builds in the correct order to give yourself resources you need for future builds. So let's take a look at a few ways I've done this wrong and talk about how you can learn from my mistakes and make your Minecraft experience so much better. When I was building these farms, I knew I wanted to use green glass, but first I needed a functional cactus farm, and then I needed to smelt a bunch of cactus for the dye. If I would have planned ahead, I could have built my super smelter first and not had to stop my build halfway through and build something else so I could finish what I was working on. And when I built these villager crop farms, I planned on one of them being my wheat farm so I could breed my animals. But I didn't do my homework and found out the hard way that this design wouldn't work for wheat. And that being said, I failed by building my animal farm up before I had a reliable source of wheat to breed them. So how do you build the right things in the right order? Well, you should do your research and plan accordingly. Want to build an animal farm? First build the appropriate crop farm to multiply your animals when it's time. Is there something you want that's a challenge to get in your world? Do your homework and see if there's an alternative or easier way to get it, like from villagers or fishing. And do that first. Work smarter, not harder. So that's what we're going to practice together today. I want to build an automatic sheep farm for every color of wool, but first we're going to work smart and build our wheat farm so that we'll be able to get the right amount of sheep that we need. But before we get to building, I'm going to just take a second and read our very first comment of the day. This comes in from Sketch Ben, who says, "Congrats on hitting that 100-mile mark. I really enjoyed your perspective, the concept, the theme, while being practical and useful. Very well done." Well, thanks so much for the kind comment, Sketch Ben. I'm glad you enjoyed the video, and thanks for the congratulations on the 100 subscriber mark. I really appreciate it. And with that said, let's get into the build. Alrighty, so here we go with a super speedy time lapse of us building up this new wheat farm design that should work this time, and then we'll be able to have a stockpile of wheat and breed up our sheep so we can make the sheep farm that we want to make next. So with that said, I just want to thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have been showing me on the channel. You guys have been leaving wonderful comments, and in the last video I was talking about trying to get to the 100 subscriber mile mark, and now we're at 138 as of right now, as of recording the video. So I just want to give you guys a shout out and thank you so much for that. And yeah, if you want to continue along with us on our journey in the superflat survival world, go ahead and subscribe. It's not going to hurt you. It only takes a second, and yeah, you'll be able to keep up with us and watch more of my videos. Like I shared last time, I'm trying to get monetized hopefully someday so I can do this full time and just turn this passion into my job and bring you guys videos on the regular. So if you want to help us out with that goal, just interact with the video any way you can. If you want to subscribe, that'd be great. If not, no worries. But if not, I just ask that you'd please take half a second and leave a like on the video. It really would mean so much to me. So thank you so much. And with that said, I think we're about done with the wheat farm. Now all that's left is to get a villager in the farm. And you can see here we had some technical difficulties trying to make that happen. This guy ran off, I had to run back to get my boat, and it was a fiasco. We actually went through a few different villagers trying to get this to happen. But there we go, we got a baby in a boat, and once he grew up, we made sure to fill his inventory with wheat seeds. That way he could only pick up seeds and leave the wheat for our hopper to pick up. And then we just had to wait for him to grow up into a farmer. Okay, so that's our wheat farm all done. And you can hear it running, and it's running well. You can see we already got a little bit of stuff. We got wheat, bone meal, and some wheat seeds. So I'd say this thing's doing good. And yeah, we stuck to our theme like we talked about in the last episode by putting some hay bales in there to mark that this is our wheat farm. And I think it fits in well in our base here. So now we can get ready to move on to the next build, which is going to be our sheep farm. Now that we have a source of wheat, we can breed our sheep and get building on the next thing. But first, we're going to take a second and read our second comment of the day that comes in from James Mangino, who says, "This video is very helpful for building my survival base because every build is always the same theme, but with each building a different one, it makes the world look more unique." Well, thanks so much for the kind comment, James, and I'm really glad that the video could help you out. Okay, so here we are in a creative copy of my world. You can see where I was messing around with design and placement of the wheat farm we just finished, and I want to show you guys what I'm planning for this wolf farm down here. And so yeah, I want to make a custom cave and just like a nice little hallway that goes into this wheat farm. I think this cave's going to need to be a little bit bigger, but over here this isn't exactly how it's going to look. This is just the general plan, but this is going to be a water elevator that goes up to the building part of our mob farms, or sorry, our animal farms. So right underneath the sheep is where I'm going to have the pathway to the sheep farm down here. And yeah, so like I say, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I need access to fill shears and all that. And I'm going to decorate the whole thing more like this, just a nice custom cave. I really like this design, and yeah, like I say, it'll be different in survival. It's not going to be one for one, but yeah, this is kind of the plan. And just to kind of give you guys a bigger picture, the plan for this world is to eventually have this whole section, this whole empty cylinder, big empty space of our base eventually be taken up by custom caves. Like I want to build our own cave system and decorate it and have everything look good and almost like it's naturally generated and we took over a cave system. So that's the plan. And yeah, so now we'll get working on the things we have to do to make this a reality in survival. Okay, so we got our pathway laid out. It's not complete. We're still gonna do some work on decorating the walkway itself, but this is good enough where we can work. We have our layout and we can start building the cells for the sheep to stay in. Okay, so we finished all the cells except for one block on each so we could get the sheep in. So now it's time to transport every sheep, one into each cell. And yeah, I'm not really excited about this part. I think it's going to be a hassle, but let's get to it. Alrighty, so it took a minute, but I figured out how to do this. You got to get them close, place a temporary block, hold the wheat, push them into place. Ooh. Push them into place, and then quickly place glass, and that's it. Get in there. Okay, and that was the last one. So now we can tear all this down and get to work on building up the cave. Okay, so here we go with a nice little time lapse here, and I'm just outlining the opening of this cave, and I'm gonna just outline the middle and we'll build it up just piece by piece, trying to make it look organic, and we'll do more detailing later on. But I just want to round back and remind you guys what this video is all about. It's about working smarter, not harder, and planning out your builds in a way that makes sense for your progression of your world. I'm building all this stuff with stone and cobblestone and different stone variants, and I play on a superflat world, which means there's no naturally generated stone of any kind. So the only reason I'm able to do this build, along with many other builds that I've done so far in this world, is because I was smart early on and made a really efficient stone generator. So I know that's a simple one, that's not too complex, but it's things like that that I'm trying to get across to you guys. That's really the point that I'm trying to get at here, is that you got to think ahead about what you're trying to do and how you'll accomplish those things later on down the line, and plan for them now rather than later when it's too late and you learn hard lessons like I did. So that being said, I'm going to let this time lapse play out, and then I'll come back to you guys shortly. Alrighty, so now that I've made you sit through watching me build that section of the cave, and I feel like you guys got a pretty good grasp on what we're doing here, I'm going to go ahead and finish it out all the way back behind me and connect it to our trading hall. I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll come back and check in with you guys when it's time to detail and get some decorations put into the cave. So hang tight and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and that was quick for you guys, but that took a long time for me. So I finished building and texturing the caves, and I added these little doorways just to break up the transition to, I could build off this way, and this is going to be our hallway here. So I already textured all around the caves, but now all that's left is to decorate. And I have everything I need that I want to decorate with in this shulker box here. So we'll get to that, and then we'll be done with this build. Okay, so we just finished the cave, and so I'll go show you guys what we did. I did a few more things off camera, just decorating a little bit more, but you walk in through the trading hall, and this is how it looks. I think we did a really good job. I like this pathway. I like the lush cave feel of it. I like our little amethyst creeper face. Amethyst is really rare in a superflat world. We could only get it recently from trial chambers. So yeah, this is an expensive creeper face for me. But anyway, I got some dripstone and shroom lights and just all the decorations. And here we got some custom stalactites and weeping roots or hanging roots, whatever those are called, and glowberries and all the things. So I think it looks good. And yeah, our wolf farm is doing wonderfully. It's producing and everything's working the way it's supposed to. So yeah, even just our little elevator area, I'm pretty proud of. And yeah, I think we did a good job. So let me know how you guys think I did. I'm kind of torn on if this is too much kind of block spam all over the place, or if it's good. I don't know. Just leave your thoughts down in the comments if you have any that you want to share with me. I'd love to hear them. But with that said, I think that brings us to the end of the video. And our last episode was the first time we surpassed 1,000 views on any one video. So I just want to thank you so much for watching that and for watching to the end of this episode. But don't forget to work smarter, not harder, plan ahead, and hit those like and subscribe buttons. I'm Peacock Plays, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.